Welcome back, everybody, to the 1987 Supermod. I'm your host, as always, Brad Drake, and this is my AWA save. Ladies and gentlemen, we are heading back to Chicago, Illinois for live event tour number 104, and that means we are going to be in the UIC Pavilion. Let's go ahead and get that booked here. We're shooting over to the Great Lakes. And we'll adjust our buffers here. There's Illinois, and there is the UIC Pavilion. We're giving up about 1,000 people, but that's okay. That's where the AWA ran. So we're booked. Let's take a look and see if we got any problems here. Backstage instance. Uh-oh, Mike Starr. What did you do? Hey, Mike Starr was doing some impressions. What a guy. Sags is in trouble with Bockwinkel again. Imagine that. Sags made a mess. Bockwinkel told him to clean that shit up. All right, we got some protege work here. Let's go ahead and take a look at our card for this evening. In the opener, it's going to be Vivian St. John versus Reggie Bennett. The Top Guns are going to face the Texas Hangman in a tag team match. Ali Khan is going to face DJ Peterson. Colonel DeBeers is going to battle Jerry Blackwell. Sheik Adnan al-Kaissey is going to mix it up with the legendary Ray Stevens. Rip Oliver is going to lock horns with Jerry Lawler. Mr. Saito and Bob Backlund will put on a technical masterclass. And in our main event, the former tag team champions of the world, the Midnight Express, will face the reigning and defending world tag team champion, Midnight Rockers. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in Chicago. Let's get to booking. All right. I got so excited there, I forgot the opening match already. St. John versus Bennett. Here we go. All right, 10-minute bout. Vivian St. John right there. Reggie Bennett. Once we get that, we're going to check to see who's been getting over on who here. I like to keep them even. All right, Vivian St. John got the win last time, so Reggie Bennett is going to go ahead and win this time. Our next bout here is the Top Guns versus the Texas Hangman. We will also check this one to see who got the last win. Go into tag team view. There's Texas Hangman. There's the Top Guns. Let's click on Mike Moran here. All right, the Top Guns won the last time. So the Texas Hangmen are going to go over this time. And of course, their manager, Don Carson, is going to play a factor in that. And yes, I realize we have 2 heel wins in a row, but let's see what we can do about that. Whoa! Our opener didn't save. I can't say that that has ever happened to me before. You'll catch it as you're watching it, though, I'm sure. All right, 10-minute ladies bout. Reggie Bennett gets the win. And we're booked. We go ahead and drop that down to the opener. I know that the new TEW 2020 allows you to book the main event first. I don't like that style, so I reverted back to the old way. I mean, we're 50-some episodes in. You've obviously seen this already, but just a heads up for you. It's just how I like to do it. All right, we got Ali Khan versus DJ Peterson. And no matter what, DJ Peterson is going over here. And we will double check the schedule here, but I think this is our last week until we click over to the new schedule. So we'll take a look at that as soon as we finish booking this match. DJ Peterson goes over. I think this is another 12-minute match. I hit 14. It is. All right, we're booked. So I stand corrected. We have one more week after this, and then we're going into our new schedule. So, all right, we got Colonel DeBeers versus Jerry Blackwell. And we are going to put Colonel DeBeers over. This one is also 14. So I'll make that adjustment. There we are. We're booked up. This would have been a hot match in Chicago. These two were over. So Colonel DeBeers is going to win by a tainted finish. That means he's cheating. We adjust to 14 minutes. Jerry Blackwell is cool with it. We got that problem worked out. al-Kaissey versus Stevens, next bout. These two are putting on good matches for a couple of old-timers. I've been listening to this AWA podcast called AWA Unleashed. It's Mick Karch, George Shire, and some other guy that's hosting. And it's pretty interesting. If you haven't checked it out already, folks, and you're an AWA fan, check it out. AWA Unleashed. You can find it on YouTube. And it is pretty darn good. I think you'll enjoy it. So I've been learning quite a bit. And they talk about al-Kaissey in there and how good he was in the ring. And, of course, they talk heavily about Ray Stevens. Here's a question for you. At this point, do you think Ray Stevens was wearing a wig, or do you think that was his real hair? There's a good question for you, folks. Anybody gets the answer, put it in the comments below, because I'm curious. That hair did not look natural. All right, Rip Oliver versus Jerry Lawler. We're going to leave this one open-ended, even though I think we know who's going to go over here. There is Rip Oliver. I never quite understood that name. Is Rip short for something? To me, it's like a nickname. You know, like maybe his name's Rick, so they call him Rip, or Rip is short for Ripper. But one thing I've never understood in wrestling is the double nickname. Like he's the Crippler, Rip Oliver. How do you have a double nickname if your first name is already the nickname? You know what I mean? If you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. The double nickname doesn't really work out. It was like the Cerebral Assassin, Triple H. Triple H is already the nickname. How do you have a nickname with a nickname? Just always seems strange to me. My thoughts. All right, Saito versus Backlund. Bobby is going over on this one, because Saito went over the last time. I remember it clearly. This one goes 18 minutes. Been watching a lot of Mr. Saito's matches lately. And man, that guy was good. He was really good. He also was a mentor for Scott Norton in Japan and really took care of Scott Norton, became really good friends with Scott Norton. A lot of people don't know that. I read Scott Norton's book, and it was a terrific read. Very fun to read, to learn the inside operations of Japanese wrestling. New Japan Pro Wrestling in particular in the 90s, in one of the hottest times in the history of wrestling. And it is a really terrific book. If you get the chance, pick up Scott Norton's book, give it a read. Okay, back to Saito and Backlund, and back to 1987. Bob Backlund gets the win here. Very nice, Bobby. And our main event is the Midnight Express versus the Midnight Rockers. So it is the former tag team champion versus the current tag team champion. And we're going to go 30 minutes with this one. The C, of course, indicates the champion team. There is the title. And we are putting the Midnight Rockers over. We're going to have Marty Jannetty get the win, because that is what the fans want to see. Chicago is a big market town. They saw the screw job on television, and they want to see the Midnight Rockers go over. So that's what they're going to get. So the Midnight Rockers win. They defend the title here. And we're at a hour 22 minutes. We're going to go ahead and get this one booked. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, folks, I think next time we come back to Chicago, I think we're going to do a battle royal. I do not think that we're doing enough battle royals. We need to do some more of them. So we're going to do that. Let's start the show. All right. Reggie Bennett gets the win. Low scoring match, but that's okay. These two ladies are working to get over. This is a much better performance for these two teams in Chicago. 43 overall. Very good. Of course, the Hangmen get the win when Don Carson interferes. That dirty Don Carson. Imagine that. DJ Peterson gets the win over Ali Khan. Very nice. Let's see what the knocks were on this one. Inexperience and fatigue, of course. There's got to be more knocks than that. Yeah, Ali Khan's hit for stamina, chemistry. I still don't understand this fades due to manager, but doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Let's move on here. Nice score here for DeBeers and Blackwell. DeBeers gets the win, of course, and he uses that handful of tights. All right, Sheik Adnan, al-Kaissey, gets defeated by Ray Stevens, of course, with the bombs away. This is a nice score for two old-timers here, 76 overall. al-Kaissey actually outscores Stevens at this point. Moving right along, this is a disappointing score. Rip Oliver only got a 57. Lawler put in some serious work with an 85. Only a 77 overall. That's disappointing. But what can I do if Oliver's just not over? This is a disappointing score. 85 and 79, and we get a 76. Backlund gets hit with inconsistency? Not cool, TEW. Not cool at all. Now, somebody in the comments mentioned that part of our problem might be something with an option on there called scouting or something. I forgot to mess with it before we got going here. Let's take a look after we finish up the card here. With this 76, I'm worried about the main event now. What kind of a low score are we going to get in the main event? Let's move on. And we get a 90 overall in the main event. So they more than made up for it. We score a 90 in the main event. I would say Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty are over in Chicago with a 95 and an 88 each. Well done. Excellent main event. Save the night. There's no doubt we should get a bump up here. And I couldn't be happier with that main event. So we're going to finish up here. We get an 84 overall for the show. Very nice. Our popularity goes up. And we have to give Marty and Shawn Michaels some praise here because they pretty much saved our show. And I'd also like to point out Sheik Adnan al-Kaissey as a good example. He did a really good job, and we're going to praise both the Midnight Rockers for a great performance because they had one. We're going to make the speech. Marty's pleased. Shawn's pleased. And Sheik Adnan's pleased. Well done. All right, we're going to go ahead and make our adjustment for our next show while we wait for that to boot. Because, as you all know, if I don't do this, I will forget. So there we go. We're dialed in now for the next tour date. Looks like we're back home to our main screen. And let's take a look at what they're talking about with this scouting business. I don't see anything here. My preferences. Okay, there was scouting. So let's give that a shot. I don't know if that means anything. I always thought scouting referred to getting a look at the wrestler's attributes, but maybe I'm wrong. One of our listeners here recommended it, so we'll give it a shot. We'll see if it does anything. Uh-oh, Pacific Northwest Wrestling is after Tom Zank. Let's take a look and see if he's taking it seriously. He's not seriously considering either one, so we should be all right here. I hate how long it takes to sign somebody sometimes. All right. All Star Wrestling got 853,000 views. Very nice. And we are doing pretty well here. Just so you know, I signed a deal with TSN. For those of you that aren't familiar, TSN is like the ESPN in Canada. So we are booked, but it's not going to take place. And I did this deal for Championship Wrestling, but this deal is not going to be in effect until our current deal with our broadcaster in Manitoba ends. So there's probably another 5 or 6 months on that. I'm not entirely certain, but just so you know, we inked a deal with TSN. This is very big for us. It'll give us coverage around Canada. And that's pretty true to life. I think at this point, Canada had already gotten rid of their requirement that you had to record television shows for Canada in Canada. That was why the AWA had Major League Wrestling for as long as they had it, because it was recorded in Canada and it was for the Canadian market. But as far as I know, in 1987, that law no longer existed. So this should be fair play, what we're doing here. So we're looking good here, folks. We're moving along in our tour. I hope you're enjoying the new additions, the new graphics and everything involved with our shows. I know it's fun to do, and I hope you like it. So if you do not have version 7.0 already, contact me. I'll be more than happy to send you over the link to the Google Drive. You can download the picture pack and the database. Also, please, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to our channel. Help us continue to grow. Give us a like. Share this around. Let your friends know. I think we got the best thing going on YouTube for TEW saves. I could be partial because it's my save, but I really think that this 1987 Super Mod is light years ahead of any other mod from the era. The proof just shows. I mean, there's just a ton of work went into it. I haven't heard a negative thing about the latest version yet. I think we fixed all the old kinks. I certainly enjoy everybody watching the show, but please share it. Help us to grow. Let your friends know if you know people that are playing TEW. Let them know. Help us to continue growing. And last but not least, if you want if you are interested, join us on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/1987supermod. That's facebook.com/groups/1987supermod. Join us in conversation about the 1987 Supermod. I'm curious about your saves. I want to know what you're doing in your saves. So thanks a lot, everybody, for tuning in. We're going to see you again tomorrow. Same place, same time, and so long for now.